Now is the perfect time to start a side hustle, something you do in your free time that brings in extra money on top of your full-time job. It can be a creative project that you monetize, freelance work, or your own business that you grow on the side. Having a side hustle is extremely rewarding. Creating an extra source of income on the side makes you feel independent and capable and just really proud of yourself. It also increases your sense of security because then you don't just depend on one source of income to pay your bills or take a vacation. And if you wish to become your own boss, then starting a side hustle that you grow on the side is usually the best way to go about it, because then you'll be able to smoothly transition into entrepreneurship without experiencing financial stress, because you'll continue receiving an income from your day job. A side hustle can be many things. It can be working as a Uber driver on weekends, or creating a blog or a YouTube channel and then receiving money with ad revenue, or starting a dog walking business. But a soul-aligned side hustle, however, is not just something that makes you money. It's something that you really love doing. It's something that's meaningful to you and that gives you a sense of purpose. The question I often get asked though is, how do I find my side hustle idea? And that's what we'll talk about in this video. I'll first share a few tips, and then I'll share resources at the end that you can use to help you find your soul-aligned side hustle idea. I also invite you to download the free guide, The Life Purpose Formula, the easiest way to figure out your purpose and calling. It'll help you identify ideas that are aligned with your purpose, which is the essence of a soul-aligned side hustle. The link to download the free guide will be in the description below. So, a good place to start to find your soul-aligned side hustle idea is the false Ikigai Venn diagram. You may have seen this diagram on the internet. It was mistakenly associated with Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that translates to a reason for being or living, or what gives life meaning, or your life purpose. This Venn diagram is not Ikigai, but it's a fantastic framework to help you find your dream job or your dream business or your dream side hustle. So we'll use it. So let's begin with the first circle of the diagram, what you love. Again, your soul-aligned side hustle idea must be something that you love. It's not something you do just to make money. It's something you enjoy. We all have preferences in life, which I believe our preferences are like whispers from our souls to guide us on the path to living our dharma, our most authentic life path and life purpose. Those preferences and interests can be experiences, topics, activities, places, or personality traits that we appreciate in people. And the cool thing is that we all have different preferences. Some people love warm tropical weather, while other people cannot stand the heat. Some people love talking about cars, while other people prefer reflecting on the meaning of life. There are several questions in the Life Purpose Formula to help you identify your natural interests, but I'll give you a few of them here. First, when do you feel alive? Reflect on the past couple of weeks and try to recall the moments when you felt really good. What were you doing? Who were you with? Write those moments down. Now think of the past few months and the past few years, and write down the moments when you felt the happiest. Also, what activities get you in a state of flow and make you lose track of time? What topics can you talk about for hours? What websites and social media pages do you visit in your free time? What are you curious to learn, try, and explore? If you could become an expert in any subject, what would it be? Try to identify your top 5 to 10 interests. Also see if you can combine some of your interests. I'll give you a good example. Maybe you know the website You Aligned, which used to be Yogi Approved. The founder, her name is Ashton August. She studied creative writing or something like that at university. So she loves writing. She also loves yoga, and she did a yoga teacher training while still at university. She's also passionate about wellness. After college, she started a blog about yoga and wellness. The blog grew and became very popular and is now her full-time business. You see, she started a blog that became her side hustle and eventually her full-time job or full-time work. And she did that by combining her passions for writing, for yoga, and wellness. That's a great example of a soul-aligned side hustle and even business. Travel vloggers are another very good example. They combine their love for making videos and traveling. And you too can combine your interests to create your dream side hustle. The second circle in the Venn diagram is what you're good at. It can be a natural talent, like something that comes easily to you but may be difficult for others. It can also be a skill that you developed through practice and that you enjoy using. For example, I had a coaching client, I think last year, who loves writing and she's really good at it. She could write a blog post for a large publication, so it had to be very good, in just an hour. It takes me days to write a blog post. Writing is one of her natural talents. We're all good at certain things. Some people are good listeners, other people are good speakers. You may be good at persuading, selling things, planning, organizing, or maybe taking care of other people. Maybe you have high emotional intelligence, or maybe you're good at manual work. We tend to be blind to our talents or natural strength. So it could be a good idea to ask people who know you very well to tell you about maybe the 3 things they believe you're good at. You could ask them, what do you think I'm good at? What would you come to me for? Another thing you could do is to take the Holland Code test to identify your strength. And when you read your results, just take notes of what really resonates with you and leave out the rest. And I'll also add a few questions to help you gain more clarity about your strength. What comes easily to you that may be difficult for others? What were you good at during high school and college? Perhaps you worked well under pressure, or maybe you were well organized, or always on time with your schoolwork, or maybe you were the leader in team projects, or were good at oral presentations. Think of your past jobs and write down what you were good at and also enjoyed doing at the same time. The third variable I want to talk about is your personality. So it's not part of the Venn diagram, but it also plays a role in identifying what you enjoy doing and what kind of side hustle you would like to start. For example, someone who's very extroverted will probably like to find occasional opportunities to connect with as many people as possible. But for more introverted people like myself, we usually tend to like to work or alone or in small groups or maybe one-on-one. I spend most of my working time alone. For an extrovert, that would probably not be very enjoyable. So make sure to choose a side hustle that is kind of aligned with your nature. To help you identify your main personality traits, you could take the free test 16 personalities. And after taking the quiz, again, read your results and write down what really resonates with you and leave out the rest. The next circle in the diagram is what people or what the world needs. A business is essentially selling a product or a service to people who need and want it. A need can be a desire, it can be a pain point, it can be a problem, which like in the end are kind of all the same thing. It's a tension. You feel tension when you want your experience to be different than what it currently is. For example, it can be a desire for connection if you feel lonely or if your relationships are not satisfying to you. It can be needing someone to walk your dog because you're too busy to do it yourself. The greater the tension we feel, the more actively we'll be looking for a solution. When thinking of what the world needs, you can also think of the global trends. For example, the Great Resignation, which is a need for more purpose and meaning at work. Right now, there's also environmental degradation, so there's a need for more eco-friendly behaviors. Loneliness and division is also a big problem right now, so there's a need for community. So the idea is that after you've identified your desires and your strength, you can start thinking of a need you could fulfill. Think of a desire or a pain point or maybe problems that people may have. And the last circle of the Venn diagram is what you can get paid for, which really goes with what people need. Again, if there's no need, like no desire, no pain point, no problem, then it's very unlikely that people will pay for what you have to offer. A good way to know if your side hustle idea can be profitable is to look at if it already exists or something similar. If there are people already successfully selling what you have in mind, then that's a good sign. Of course, you'll probably want to make your offer a little different, like you'll probably want to differentiate yourself. But if something already exists, it's a good sign. For example, let's take again the example I gave earlier, the You Aligned website by Ashton August. When she started her blog, there were already large publications like wellness publications that were profitable. For example, Mind Body Green. So it was a good sign that her blog could potentially make money too. Ashton differentiated her blog by focusing more on yoga and wellness. She also targets more specifically millennials. So she found ways to differentiate her websites from other already existing platforms. If no one is already selling what you have in mind, not even something similar, then you may want to do a little more research. A good book you may want to read is Will It Fly? How to Test Your Next Business Idea So You Don't Waste Your Time and Money. It's written by Pat Flynn, who is the host of the Smart Passive Income podcast. Now, there are a few more variables to take into account when finding your side hustle idea, two of which are your preferred lifestyle and your current obligations. For your preferred lifestyle, think about what kind of schedule do you want? How many hours a week do you want to work on your side hustle? Do you want to be location independent? Or do you plan on mostly living in the same location? Make sure that your side hustle idea fits your ideal lifestyle, like right now and also in the near future. For example, I love dogs and I also love walking and I love walking dogs, but I also travel a lot. I like to spend a few months a year, the winter month, outside of Canada, somewhere warmer. So it wouldn't be convenient for me to have a dog walking business that requires that I stay in the same location. It's best that I have an online business. So now I sell products online and I also do coaching via Zoom, which allows me to be location independent. Some side hustles may require that you work on weekends or that you wake up super early in the morning. Are you okay with that? So when analyzing your side hustle ideas, really consider their impact on your lifestyle. Of course, most of us also have obligations. Perhaps you're in a relationship or have kids. If you do have a partner and kids and are thinking of leading meditation retreats overseas every few months, you may want to talk to your family about it first. Don't necessarily eliminate your idea because it clashes with your obligations, but maybe see if you can find ways to adapt your idea to make it work. Now, I'd like to recommend a few more resources to help you find your side hustle idea. So again, you can use the free guide, the Life Purpose Formula that I mentioned earlier. The link will be in the description below. On top of that, I recommend listening to the Side Hustle School podcast with Chris Gabo. Every day, Chris shares the story of someone who has successfully built their side hustle. Hearing other people's stories will give you ideas of what you could create. Another good podcast you may want to listen to is the Side Hustle Show with Nick Loper. Every week, Nick interviews people who've created profitable side hustles and businesses. And you can also read Chris Gabo's book, The $100 Startup, which is about stories of people who've built profitable side hustles and businesses with less than $100. You'll get even more ideas to inspire you. I hope you'll go for it. Starting a side hustle is so rewarding, and it also feels really good to have more than one source of income. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. You can also put your questions in the comments. I wish you a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week.